Today's lesson is dealing with the Dewey Decimal numbers of 500 through 999. So starting with the 500s, just a reminder that you will be answering some questions at the end of this presentation. You might even want to read the questions first so you can pay extra attention when you're answering and listening to this information. The 500s deal with the pure sciences. These are anything that are found naturally on our planet, not created by humans. Volcanoes, animals, birds, plants, classification. Anything that's dealing with the planets, our solar system, astronomy, rocks and minerals. If you like that kind of information, you might want to head over to the 500s for the pure sciences. But to narrow this down a little bit, look at how Dewey has broken those categories down into sections of 10, and they would even be further broken down into ones and then even within the decimal points to narrow that classification. I'm just keeping it general here to simplify it a little bit for you. In this section of the 500s, the natural areas include sciences and math. You want some math books? We've got some amazing new books about dealing with math and track and sports and different activities like that. Science experiments, chemistry. If you're looking for different things about dinosaurs or animals and plants, dogs, horses, cats, pets, these would all be found in the 500s natural sciences. Now notice at this one over here that says slam dunk. That is not dealing with sports because if you look carefully, it's dealing with science projects with basketball. That might be something you're interested in. Head over to the 500s. When we head into the 600, this takes a little bit different twist on the sciences. These are applied sciences or technology dealing with items that have been created by humans. For instance, instead of going out to space to the solar system and planets, if you want specific space shuttles or robots or machinery that's used out in the space shuttles, you would come to the 600s. It's also dealing with cars and trucks and Humvees, motorcycles, computers. Even it's dealing with medicine. So if you want some specific information about asthma, diabetes, you can find this in the science technologies in the health area or the 600s. Again, if we break it down, you look at the specific areas within there. This also looks at cooking, which seems kind of weird, applied sciences, but again, you're creating something. The atomic bomb is included in this section. How did they create the bomb? Military robots. Remember in the 300s dealt with the careers of the U.S. Marines, the Navy, the Air Force. In the 600s, we get into the military machines, the tanks, the robots, the inventions, the airplanes, the air bombers. Dealing with architecture, inventions, cool stuff that you might want to find. Or if you're doing some research for your health class on organic food or agriculture, there's even a really cool book that we have called The Adventures of Medicine Man, Going into the Human Body. The 600s deal with technology and applied sciences. Moving on to the 700s, this is a fairly large section of our library and probably the most popular nonfiction section. This one is dealing with all sorts of arts and recreation, things that we do for fun, whether it's drawing, origami, hunting, fishing, sports, music. We have lots of information in this section. However, I'm always looking for suggestions, so if there's some sort of information that you want to learn more about to do for pleasure or for fun, let me know. I'll try to buy those. If we break it down again into the 700s by the 10s, here are some of the specifics within these categories. Music, art, origami, painting, photography falls in here. Why does Star Wars fall in here? Because we also have things about movies, creating movies. The I Spy books are over in the 700s. Lots of how to draw, photography, even some history of music can fall in this if you like rap and rock and roll. How to draw Del Toro Quest, how to draw monsters. We have a large variety of these things. If you're interested in painting or sculpting, stop on over to the 700s for the arts, sports, and recreation section. The 800s, kind of a smaller collection. It's dealing with literature, jokes, poems, knock-knocks, tongue twisters. This is where you'll find some books on Edgar Allan Poe and Shakespeare. If you want me to get more knock-knock jokes or tongue twisters, let me know. I think our collection could use some new ideas. If we break it down, what confuses kids a lot is, wait a minute, I thought we said 400s was dealing with French and Spanish. That's dealing with learning the language. This section in the 800s is dealing with French literature or Spanish literature, stories that came from those countries or authors from those countries. Shakespeare came from England, and many of his stories, they were written over in England. That's why his articles are over here in the 800s dealing with that type of literature. 900s, again, another larger section of our library. 900s is dealing with history and geography, and I think a lot of you don't realize the amazing books that are over in this section. And after talking with a lot of you, I find that you have a huge interest in this. This deals with the Titanic, or if you're interested in Vietnam War, Korean War, World War I, World War II, countries, learning about different places around the world, Egypt, mummies, those are the sections in the 900s, history, geography. If you're looking for an atlas that you need for one of your social studies projects, this would be over in the geography section. If you also remember, 921 deals with biographies. They're organized by the author's last name, sorry, not the author's last name, but the 3 letters of the person in the book. For instance, Justin Timberlake, he would be 921 TIM for his last name of Timberlake. Bill Gates, 921 GAT. So if there's a famous person you want to learn more about, jump on over to the 921s and go into the biographies. Just a little extra tip, the 920s deal with a collection of biographies. You might find a whole collection on famous basketball stars or famous singers. You can check over in the 920s and the 921s if you're looking for a specific person or group of people in history. If we break it down even further into those categories of 10, here are some further examples. So let's say you wanted some stuff on South America. Most of those would be located over in the 980s. If you wanted stuff on Civil War, that would be in the 970s, dealing with the history in North America. Explorers around the world, ancient Egypt would be dealing with Aztec, Inca, Maya, the mummies, any of those different things that you might find fascinating. Europe, that's where World War I, World War II information falls, because a lot of that war, most of that war happened over in Europe. Even in the 990s, some of our history, as you're looking at lacrosse history or Wisconsin history, head on over to that section of the library. 900s can be pretty popular for a lot of their students, but many of you don't even venture to that area, not realizing the great stories that you might find. You've gone through the whole Dewey Decimal System. Today, when you're done, I want you to go into your Schoology, and I want you to answer the questions that you need to know about the Dewey Decimal System. Remember, you can always look back at the video if you need further assistance. Have a great day, and hope you enjoy some great reading.